In the steamer is the trout, seasoned with slivers of ginger, 2 sprigs of green onion, and sesame oil. We shall eat it with rice for lunch. Brothers, sister, my mother, who will taste the sweetest meat of the head, holding it between her fingers deftly, the way my father did weeks ago. Then he lay down to sleep like a snow-covered road winding through pines older than him, without any travelers, and lonely for no one. I've pulled the last of the year's young onions. The garden is bare now. The ground is cold, brown, and old. What is left of the day flames in the maples at the corner of my eye. I turn, a cardinal vanishes. By the cellar door, I wash the onions, then drink from the icy metal spigot. Once, years back, I walked beside my father among the windfall pears. I can't recall our words. We may have strolled in silence. But I still see him bent that way, left hand braced on knee, creaky, to lift and hold to my eye a rotten pear. In it, a hornet spun crazily, glazed in slow, glistening juice. It was my father I saw this morning, waving to me from the trees. I almost called to him, until I came close enough to see the shovel, leaning where I had left it in the flickering deep green shade. White rice steaming, almost done. Sweet green peas fried in onions. Shrimp braised in sesame oil and garlic. And my own loneliness. What more could I, a young man, want? Well, one of the things that we look at is the imagery in the poems. The icy metal spigot and the hornet spun crazily glazed in slow, glistening juice. We really think about the feel of those objects, the look, the sound. Also thinking about the way Lee uses food to sort of represent, to symbolize, his connection with his family, the relationship he has with his father, and how food sort of brings back both the cultural, memory of his father and his family, but also just the traditions that they had together, eating together, and now he's eating alone. Eating together, I would say, would come first, because it's about eating with his family, and his father, weeks ago, was with them, but, now it's just him, his brothers, his sister, and his mother. And then in eating alone, he's really taking a walk on his own and sort of recalling back the times he had with his family as a whole, but mostly just with his father. So it seems chronologically like eating together is sort of soon after his father has died, and then eating alone is much later. That now he's thinking on his own connection with his father, separate from the rest of his family. Well, one of the things I also have my students look at or think about is all of the food that he uses is very specific to his family. So one of the things that I've had my students do in the past is to think about the food that they would connect with their own families, and sort of like those triggers when you taste something or when you smell something, it brings you back to that holiday dinner or that, one time when you were fighting at the dinner table, whatever it is, and then you can sort of recall, your own memories with your family. I just love the way they sound. I mean, I know I mentioned the slow, glistening juice before, just the way that sounds coming out of your mouth. It's a beautiful sound, very mellifluous, and he just has a way with his language that it's just pleasant to listen to and to actually read yourself. And also, the food, you can smell it. Like, I keep bringing that up again, but that imagery, I think, is really strong.